Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Shantia here. Welcome for another Monday motivation video. Welcome, alchemists. How are you doing? How are you feeling? I hope you're feeling wonderful. Let us get into this Monday motivation topic today, which is about feedback and criticism. Feedback and criticism can go in one way or the other. It can help you to have a breakdown, or it can help you to have a breakthrough. So this has been my experience. Is I've had breakdowns after getting criticism, and I've had breakthroughs, and I've understood you can make it an experience where it becomes a breakthrough for you, where it becomes a positive, uplifting, encouraging experience. So today I'm just going to kind of break it down for you guys. How do we do that? Breakthrough, breakdown, and then I'm going to share with you guys my testimony, my experience for how that has played out for me. So let's talk about feedback and criticism in general. If you're sensitive AF like me, perhaps you're resistant to it, or if you're a perfectionist like I'm not a hardcore perfectionist, but I got perfectionistic ways. If you are a perfectionist and you struggle with taking criticism and feedback, I understand, because you're already internally so hard on yourself, and women in general, we're so hard on ourselves that when we get that extra bit of criticism, sometimes it just doesn't feel good, and it kind of just breaks us down, right? It kind of tears us apart a little bit inwardly. What I've learned to do, it's taken me a while to do this, thanks to me being a part of my Toastmasters club for about a year and a half plus, a little bit more than a year and a half. I've learned to understand that criticism and feedback, it's powerful. It's powerful. It can help you to thrive so much and so beautifully if you use it well. What I've learned to do is I've learned to take what resonates with me. So not everything resonates with me. Often what people are doing is they're giving their opinion, right? Oh, you can do this better. You can do that better. Just an opinion. As an artist, this is something I've had to really take into consideration, because when I create my art, and I think this goes for a lot of artists and anyone who feels like what they're creating is a part of their heart and their fulfillment, is it's a direct connection to you and who you are. So of course you're sensitive to how people receive it. But what I've learned to do is that I really have to filter out what doesn't resonate with me. If someone's giving me feedback or criticism, or they're talking to me about my work and they have an opinion about it, I set aside what doesn't resonate with me. So for example, perhaps someone comes up to me and they're like, hey, why don't you do this picture or this image? I don't take that to heart at all. I'm like, if I want to do it, I want to do it. If I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. I've had to learn to listen to that throughout the years, because no, I'm not chasing money. Money chases me. If I really want to create it, I will, because my creativity is a gift to the world. It's a gift to you. I have to be aligned with what I'm creating. So understand the energy that you put behind the work itself is powerful. If it's positive and it's loving and it's optimistic and it's forward moving, you can pack that energy behind the thing. But if someone is they're telling you to do something, or do this better, or do it this way, and it's not resonating with you, listen to that. Listen to your intuition. Filter out that intuition. So in spite of what people say, I've learned to understand, no, I'm not interested in doing it that way. And often people want to know, especially when you become more confident in yourself, they want to know your take back, right? They want to know, okay, how do you feel about this? You know best what's for you, and you know best what's not for you. Okay, so feedback can really help to encourage you. It can really be powerful. It has been experiences where it's caused breakdowns in me. I remember since I was a little kid, when I used to play the flute, and I would do my test for band. It was right around, I think it was like 6th or 7th grade, when I was like doing my test, and I would get critique on it, and it wasn't positive critique, and I would just fall apart, because it was a combination of perfectionism, sensitive AF, and being with parents who, especially during my childhood, were very critical. So it just put extra pressure on me. I couldn't take the feedback. I couldn't really apply it. I felt very rebellious towards it, because something inside of me needed to be healed in order for me to receive that. So I've had to actually build myself to receive criticism and feedback with ease. And even at times, sometimes I'm like, I don't know about that. What I've realized is I honor myself first. I honor what resonates with me, but I always take notes, because maybe what someone's saying now isn't resonating with me now, but it might resonate later. So the breakthrough is what you're wanting The breakthrough is what you're aiming for. So aim for the breakthrough. What I like to do is I like to give space. So if someone gives me feedback, I just intellectually absorb the information. I don't try to attach any emotions or opinions to it right away. I detach and I'm like, okay, I will sit with it later and see if I'm going to apply it and see if this is what I want to apply. And I'll sit on it and I'll meditate on it. And I'll think, okay, was what they're saying, is that right? Is it missing something? And then I'll listen to it. For example, like for my speeches for my Toastmaster Club, I'll listen to a speech over and over. And I'm like, is it missing that? Or did I already put that in there? And then I start to hear it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I hear what they were talking about. So it might take me a while, but then it'll hit me and then I'll have a breakthrough. So what I've learned is, for me personally, and I think for all of us, is I do thrive under pressure. When people put that pressure on me, it makes me shine. So feedback is such an honorable thing for people to do. Just think about the fact that someone cared to share their opinion to help you to improve. That in itself deserves respect. So give them your listening ear and listen to what they have to say. So let me talk about my personal story. Now, as I've told you guys, sensitive AF, perfectionist, critical parents growing up, did not take feedback well. Naturally had a very rebellious mindset. Didn't take feedback well, but I was already internalizing a lot of what people had to say about me, because I already thought of myself as not good enough. And I already had, I didn't really necessarily have low self-esteem, but I had low self-worthiness of what, like, okay, am I worthy of winning or getting the trophy and whatnot? When I was 15, I was in my first AP studio art class, because I took it 2 years, junior and senior year of high school. In my junior year of high school, I did my first art critique, and I worked so hard on this, about this size of a gouache/watercolor painting, and I worked my butt off for that painting. I presented it, and I just remember being so angry and so pissed, because perhaps she said a few positive things. I don't remember hearing, she didn't necessarily say bad things, but I just remember it not feeling good, and it feeling critical and not opinionated, but just not feeling good and positive in the way that I thought it was going to be received. I thought they're going to be like, wow, good job, great job. And that wasn't the case. And I just remember just wanting to I was just angry and pissed. I busted out of there as soon as class was over. I didn't take critique well. I still had a naturally competitiveness/perfectionist/ I'm super passionate about art within me that I pushed myself, because I kind of didn't feel good enough. So I ended up making really powerful work after that, because that's what happens. When I feel like I'm not good enough, what I'll do is I'll end up perfecting things. So in a way it works, but still I was internalizing that I'm not good enough. So it still took me years to build up to that confidence. I've only been able to do that within the last 4 years or so. Work has been another practice for me to learn how to take criticism and be like, hey, why don't you do this better and do that better and do it like this? I've just learned to take orders or take suggestions with ease, because I'm just like, okay, sure. Because I just learned how to have an easygoing approach to things. Now, unless I'm creating the thing, which most of the time, if you're working under someone, you're working under their steps and the way that they run things. I'm just like, I don't really, okay, sure, we'll do it your way. That's kind of my approach to everything. Sure, we'll try it out that way and this way and everything else. But I never devalue their opinion. I'm just very accepting, probably overly accepting of other people's suggestions. However, I do not discount my own as well. When I did my senior critique, so I did for my senior thesis, my last final year of college, I presented these beautiful 3x5 paintings. The critique went horribly. My presentation, I bombed, in a sense. Yes, I said beautiful words. They sounded interesting, but the presentation lacked clarity. It lacked clarity, and it lacked a clear vision of how it related to the artwork. It was very fluffy, interesting, complex words. But people were listening to the words, looking at the paintings, like, okay, how does that kind of connect? At the time, I'd worked so hard on this. I'd put so much effort into it. However, it did not go the way I wanted to. And I just shut down. During the critique and the criticism, people had opinions about, do it like this, add that. at this. And I just felt resistant. I shut down and I didn't really want to listen to what people were saying. And I was just up there standing, basically in my body, barely there, because I didn't want to be there anymore. And I had a breakdown after that. And it really scared me from communicating, because I had always had a passion for communication, but my presentations and my presentation skill was horrible because I hadn't practiced it. I hadn't put it into practice. I had never taken any public speaking classes before. I had no idea how to go up there and just present effortlessly. So I had a breakdown, and it actually scared me from feeling confident with myself. It actually kind of scarred me. It kind of like slightly traumatized me from ever wanting to fully present my artwork. However, I still came back the next year and I did an art show, and it was really fun, and it was low key and very relaxing. I always found ways to push myself past my comfort zone. However, all the while I was still internalizing I'm not good enough, right? So I'm not quite getting the results I want or even the sales that I want because I'm still internalizing that I'm not good enough. Through my Toastmasters and through practicing, you're giving these speeches, you're giving these presentations, and someone is always evaluating what you're saying and how you're saying it. Not in a way that they're looking for everything that's wrong. I remember I was having a conversation with a coworker, and she was saying, so you're okay with people just like beating down on you? She said something like dramatic like that when I told her that I was in the Toastmasters club. She's like, oh, you're just okay with people tearing you down or something like that. Because I think that's how she internalized it. Oh, I do public speaking. And every time we do public speaking, someone's always critiquing and giving feedback about it. It feels like someone's tearing down at something inside of me. But I was like, no, we uplift each other. And in the club, they really encourage you, uplift people, encourage people, tell them all the things they're doing right, but also tell the things that they can improve on. Why are we a part of this? Because we want to find ways to improve on what we're doing. We want to become more confident in what we're doing. So I did that for a year and a half, kept taking the feedback. And I learned how to detach, take the feedback, sit with it, meditate on it, and then decide what resonates and what does not resonate. Let go what doesn't resonate, take what does resonate, apply the change, and see things thrive. But here I am, I'm thriving, and I just want to say as a fun way to close out this video is I ended up first in my district's Toastmaster Club competition. So I ended up placing first because I've been putting in the work, and I sit there with the feedback and I think about ways to apply it, and I take it seriously. So it just goes to show it can build you up, help you to have breakthroughs. Wow, I didn't see it in that way. Thank you. Or it can break you down like it did for years for me. And I would continue to internalize, I'm not good enough. That's not going to help you. So either decide, do you want to break down or you want to break through? If you want to break through, you want to thrive, you have to learn how to take feedback and criticism. Now, does that mean that I take criticism with ease all the time? Heck no. People say things and I'm like, girl, please, what you talking about? I did great. But then I'll think about it. And that's why I always write everything down. Because I'm like, it might not resonate with me now because I'm sensitive AF, right? But it might resonate with me later. Okay? So I hope you guys find a way to apply that to your life. Learn how to take any kind of feedback, any kind of criticism with honor. And this is also something I would say. People say things all the time, not relevant to me. Not relevant, doesn't resonate. I throw it out the window. Because I'm like, unless it's going to help me, I will kind of take some bits of it, right? And be like, okay. But honestly, the fire inside of me comes from a place of like, I know what I'm doing and I trust what I'm doing and I trust how I'm doing it. And trusting in that confidence is what has brought me here in spite of people's opinion. People's opinion does not drive what I do. My inner will is what drives what I do. Because I believe, and the more that I do it and practice it and put it out there and show the world my creations, the more I see, oh my gosh, I've been right all this time. Somebody has been telling me, do this, do that, and I didn't follow it. But the more I follow that intuition, the more I'm starting to see results just like that. Okay? So trust in your inner source. The feedback may resonate, it may not resonate. Okay, I hope you guys have a wonderful day or evening. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my Heal Feel Reveal series. They are intense lessons on how to improve on your life. Bring the inner work and the outer work together. Create the life that you desire. My channel is dedicated to helping women live in a way that feels the most natural. to them, which means listen to your intuition. Listen to your heart. You want to be fulfilled? You got to listen to this, not this. This will give you the ideas, but this will give you fulfillment. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or evening. Check out my website, check out my other videos. I will be back next week for another Monday motivation video. Bye.